Maybe we should just be drinking tea.
We're live.
Hello.
Hello. And we were micless yet again. So it worked okay last time. The sound quality was reasonable.
Yeah.
Welcome and hello. We hope that some of you are able to join this time, and we will be keeping our eye over on chat if you're joining us live. We have not set it to private this time. I'm very excited about that.
I can see a thumbs up, so that means someone's actually reacting to what we're saying. That's really exciting.
And there's people up over there.
Yay!
So hello, everyone. I'm Sarah, also known as Imagine Landscapes.
And I'm Katie, also known as Roar114. Welcome for the first and final time to my living room. You can see empty shelves and boxes. I will be moving in a week and a half.
Yeah. And we did not plan to be together, but this is working out perfectly.
Yeah.
It did mean I had to be the one who figured out how to bring everything to travel for podcasting, which is
normally a Katie thing as opposed to a Sarah thing.
Yeah. So this is a mini version of what we normally do on our audio podcast. If you are new to us, we have an audio podcast also called Imagine Landscapes, and the content there is more detailed and less visible.
Yes.
It is also more books, board games, and sci-fi fantasy heavy. We're going to keep it like just to the knitting on YouTube.
Yeah.
Because it's easier to show knitting.
It's true.
So
you have many more things than I do because I've pretty much been working on one thing for the last month. Oh, thank you, Judy. I'm really excited about my move too. And so nice to see the chat and to see folks saying hi. So yes, thank you for that. I will talk about what I'm wearing.
Yeah, why don't we start there? And
sure.
Then I'll do some work or some finished stuff, and then we'll just bounce back and forth from there.
This is, the name of this pattern is Ragatta. And I love the details up at the top. It's the exactly the same on the front and the back. And this is made out of Juniper Moon Farm in Zoe, which is a cotton linen blend. I made this in 2014, and I love it to pieces. It's a DK yarn, so when I look at it on my shelf, it's really hefty and thick, and I think it looks like a sweater, but wearing it on a super hot day makes it just so comfy. The wind goes right through it, and it's really nice and cool. So,
and that, what was I going to say? Yeah, cotton linen, and I had a question.
It's a bit of a thick, thin yarn. I've made two summer tops out of the same yarn. The other one is blue, and is called the Summer Sleeveless Top. And as a thick thin, it's sometimes a little bit interesting to knit with. I will say, as a cotton linen with zero sproing, doing all of the stacked decreases here and here, I actually would have to put this down and take breaks.
That's what I was going to ask, how it was to knit with. So
I had to take breaks with it. Otherwise, it was just a little. It was hurting.
Yeah. It's funny. It's funny that like we do everything up here, but right here is where I get my pain.
Yeah. Can we speak about raglan? I'm not sure what you're referring to, Momo.
Yeah, you're not wearing a raglan, and I'm just wearing a t-shirt, like a long sleeve shirt, because it was too much to plan today to also bring a sweater.
I'm not the one who had to travel.
Yeah.
And we live over 2 hours apart, so
if you do have general knitting questions, probably the best place to come is to the Ravelry group for Imagine Landscapes. We have a general chatter thread if you have general questions. But yeah, raglans are a great sweater type for me, at least.
Yeah.
I love the way they fit me. So I'm going to talk about two things. One, you've seen, because it was a work in progress last time that we did this.
And so much.
This is Cumberland from Timber Yarns. They are out in Ontario. It's amazing how big this looks on screen. Like
it does. It looks big and it's
reasonably large.
It's got it almost looked like it had like some leftover ease in here, but it doesn't. It's actually quite snug.
Yeah, it's interesting because this is like to fit me. Like this is my size blocker, but these are Reiner size socks.
Oh,
So
okay.
there is like
A
some
little bit of give
slack
there,
going
yeah.
on that wouldn't normally be there. But yeah, so these I knit. I've got both of them here, but I chose not to do anything special in terms of like preserving the color progression. So I did not. So what I do sometimes is I will knit to this point from the inside of the ball, then I'll grab from the outside for the heel and the heel
Oh.
turn, because then across the top of the foot, which is the part you yourself see, there is no interruption. But this time I went crazy and just like made it easier on myself. Although since I've started doing the knitting in the ends technique, I don't mind at all, because you just knit them into the back. There is a video on this channel about how to do that, and I just love doing that now. It's so when you're knitting, it just kind of wraps in the yarn behind the stitches. It's not, you're not knitting it double, so you don't have an extra thickness in the stitch itself. It's just very much like weaving in an end. It just travels behind, but you've already looped it in with that.
Just gonna
Adjust us
a little bit. I feel like my head's getting cut off there.
So this is the extremely exciting sock.
I love this color so much. It looks like, it reminds me of markers that are starting to dry out just a little bit, right?
Oh, yeah,
all the primary
scratchy
colors, and then where it just gets a little bit lighter in there.
Yeah.
We have somebody who says that they are knitting on their MCal gnome while watching us.
Excellent.
Awesome. Love it.
I'm not going to talk about that today because it's not spoiler time. So
yeah, Sarah has a strict policy of not talking about the MCals while they're happening, but really love seeing people sharing all those posts.
Yeah. And that's all the way until the knit along is done. I've selected the winners and then when I take down all those and I release it as a still pattern, that's when I start posting. So it's like, I've been working on this thing for months, and then you guys have been working on it for about a month, and then finally I get to show people it is.
Yeah.
All right. So very exciting sock.
Very exciting sock.
A little moodier.
I love this.
So this is light gray, well, medium gray, dark gray, and rusty iron bits.
Is this Drake?
This is not. Okay. This is Spite from Feisty Fibers.
Yeah.
So he knows he's getting these. These are going to be a surprise. These are going to be Christmas. I really don't think he watches. We've also talked about it on the podcast.
Yeah.
So if you're finding out, Reiner, don't tell me. So I've knit 2 of these, and I used 95 grams, but it's 115 gram skein, and I think this is a it's heavier. It's a heavier worsted.
Worsted?
No, heavier fingering. But I've never used that much yarn for a pair of socks. I mean,
normally you use less?
Yeah, usually I use about 75 grams for me and 80 for him.
Okay.
So
interesting.
Yeah, but I'm kind of thinking it's the it's like November kind of colors, like steely, stormy skies with snow in it, and then you still have the trees with the brown. So those are 2 of my finished objects. I have 3 more.
3 more.
3 more.
Wow.
Well, okay, one I think I showed already, but it was in the same spot.
Okay.
So I'll do.
I haven't seen this one yet.
Okay. So
in person.
Yeah. So I think I showed this last time. It's the cable based on the Gnot Just Another Gnome pattern, which was the mystery gnome in summer. Nathan. And Nathan's cable was so lovely, I wanted to make it human. And this is the beanie version, because I know not everybody's in for the crazy ride. Oh,
big slouchy
slouchy. So yeah, it's got sludge, and I think I showed this last time, so I'm not going to spend time on it because this
What's the name of this pattern now? Because it has been released since we last talked about it.
No, this has not yet been released. This is now in testing.
Oh, my bad.
It's okay. So I'm not going to name the name quite yet, but
it's wonderful.
What we have now is Nathan's cable. Pointy.
Look at how beautifully dense they get towards the top. Hey, there's so much space here. And then they just...
Let's try doing this. See if we can't catch the light. There we go.
Oh,
look at how much better that
nice.
Is. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And it just shows that. And then the tassel.
Yeah.
I love these details. This is showing quite more blue on the screen than it is in person. In person, this is a very... pine
green? It definitely has blue to it, which is why I think the screen is picking it up.
Yeah.
We've been told to check Pottery Barn because they have super lots of gnome things. Do we have Pottery Barn in Canada?
Not here, I don't think. I was in IKEA yesterday and they already have some of their Christmas stuff out, including gnomes like this big. And I almost got one for you. And then I thought, I think you might be like getting close to max on some.
Not if I can put them outdoors.
Oh,
right?
They are weighted. Like,
Yeah.
they are indoor things.
So
this is so long.
This stocking cap is long. It's partly long because it's a lot of weight. So the way I've written the pattern, you actually are going to use the smaller needle like all the way to here. And then
so that it's more snug.
Yeah, and then I wanted it to be long enough that the weight would sit a little bit here if you wanted to do that. But
that's so wonderful. Can I try it on?
Yes. It's gonna look funny with your bun.
Yep. Yep, there's my bun right there. Oh, I love it.
Yeah. It definitely depending on the way you store it, there is definitely kind of like a right way and a wrong way to put it on, because if you've got any kind of a point in, like, because it was laid flat this way, and then you put that up, it's gonna hang kind of super funny. Do you know what I mean? Like,
yes, because you've got it flattened a little. Yeah, like it automatically went flat this way.
Yeah.
And so yes, there would be. Yeah. You'd have to pay attention to that. Somebody's asking when you have an estimate for a release on one of these.
Mid-October.
Oh, that's soon.
It is soon. The testers are working diligently right now. We're combing through the written version, the charted version, and you're going to get both versions of the pattern together. So I know not everybody's into both styles, but this way you will have the option, and that way you can also knit this for babies, and then maybe the beanie for yourself, because
nice.
I don't know how many people are going to do the stocking cap style, but I mean, I think this would be perfect for family photo kind of thing.
Oh yeah, you could even do these in Santa hat colors if you're a family that does Santa stuff.
Yeah,
and then do really great family photos, or
like in a gradient, this would be amazing. Or some of the testers are doing it in some of those tweeds.
Yeah,
so good.
Yeah, lovely.
Yeah. So that's this one, soon to come.
Yes, soon to come. So better finish those whips, Katie.
Yeah.
And also, it's really exciting to see all of the places that people are tuning in from. Normally, when we've done Instagram Live, because I'm on the bottom of the screen, I can't keep track of all of the comments down there. So it's been really great to see. We've got people from
Germany and Alaska and
Bulgaria, various places in the U.S.
Versailles.
I missed that one.
Yep, right there.
Oh, wonderful.
Bulgaria, Arizona, Southern California.
Wonderful.
That's
really
so
exciting to hear all that.
Yeah. I've got one more, but how about you talk for a little bit?
Sure. So
I'm drinking Constant Comment tea in one of Katie's mugs.
As am I. I got this mug in Munich. I went there largely because you have a favorite castle. Or at least a while ago you had a favorite castle, and I had a chance to go on a trip, and so I decided that I wanted to go
to any castle
to see. Well, I'd already been to Germany, and I just fell in love with Berlin, and I was like, let's go see more. Sarah has a favorite castle. Can I get near to that? So I went to Munich so that I could go see Neuschwanstein.
Which is not my favorite castle.
Which is not your favorite castle? It
no.
was at one point.
Maybe? We talked a lot about it because it's an outrageous story.
Yes,
about
that's
how
what
the
it
prince created his own like fantasy version of medieval stuff and just the whole thing. But no, my favorite is Burg Els. For those of you who are over there.
I'll have to do it. So this is from Munich, and we are both drinking Constant Comment. This is my usual mug. I have two of these a morning these days now that I'm working from home.
Yeah. Big mugs of tea are very much a happy thing.
Yes. And if there are any Canadians here who are asking, where on earth did you get Constant Comment? I have been storing it for ages. When I went to Stitches in New York a few years ago now, Kino Knits was nice enough to bring me some boxes. And then my friend Fig from Ohio also every once in a while will send me boxes. So
I think I've seen it at Safeway sometimes. Those of you.
Okay. I'll have to keep an eye out. Good for a while, but yeah.
Not if you've been hoarding it. This way now you can start using it.
It's true. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I should talk about a knitting thing.
You should.
So on the audio podcast, we've talked about the sweater weather wreath, which is a lovely cabled wreath to go on doors or in your house. And Sarah and I each decided that, well, Sarah was talking a lot about it, and I went, oh yes, I would like one too, particularly for my new condo. And so I went out already and bought the stuff. Last time we did one of these, I showed the odd ergonomic needles that I'd bought, and I thought this time I'd show the yarn. This is a Bernat something or other. Clearly there's no ball band on it. It's somewhere. I will probably find it when I move. So yeah, it's beautiful. And so I thought I would get one of these kind of chenille-like skeins of yarn. It's a bulky or super bulky. It's something like that. It's got no sproing to it at all, which means that this is going to be interesting to knit with all of those cables.
So the true name is, we have been,
we've been wrong.
Cozy Winter Sweater Wreath. It's by Danielle Widner, but I will be putting up show notes, just not like in the next 20 minutes, like sometime in the next 48 hours.
There we go.
I'm willing to say.
Hillary, I think you're right. It might be Bernat Baby Blanket, because there is a pattern for a big blanket on it. I'm not sure if it's a baby blanket, but yeah, and it's super soft and smushy, and I think it's going to look great whenever I've knit it for my new condo door.
I ordered Knit Picks Bear. They're one of their big bulkies, and it's one of the ones that has alpaca in it, and it's a mix. And I decided that I can usually work with alpaca, but I just definitely can't wear it. So it's not like a mohair. Mohair makes my fingers hurt as I'm knitting, whereas alpaca, I might get a little itchy if it's, we'll see.
Alpaca, I get itchy just touching it.
Yeah.
But a blend might be good.
Yeah, and it was the only thing they had available, and I did not want to put it off.
And I will say I bought a wreath already. It's smaller than recommended.
Like in terms of this way or in terms of this way?
In terms of this way. They recommended one a little bit bigger, but this is all that Michael's had. And so
you're going to take out some stitches?
Yeah. I already, I've started a page on it for my blog. It's not live yet, so don't go looking for it. What is the name of my blog? Aurora114 Knits, I'm pretty sure, on WordPress, if you want to check that out. That's where I'm not using Ravelry anymore, so that's where I'm posting my projects, but I've got a draft where I've saved how I'm going to adapt the pattern to make it fit this one.
That's exciting.
Yeah, I'm really,
and is that how big it's supposed to be? Because I haven't actually looked.
Oh, honestly, it was this or like something small, like much smaller. So this is, well, you have the pattern up, so take a look. This is 2 inches by 15.6.
Let's take it back off of airplane mode.
Oh, you can't scroll up and see?
No, it immediately said, hey, you're not online.
It recommends 18-inch diameter and 2 1/8 thick. So, mine is 2 and a bit inches less around.
So it's actually supposed to be
bigger this way. Not bigger this way. But when I knit it, I mean, I did a gauge swatch, but I didn't pay super attention to it. It was more like, do I like the fabric that I'm getting? And so there was extra, because I did actually start knitting the pattern, and there was overlap enough that I'm going to have to take out some stitches. Or a stitch, because the stitches are massive when you're using yarn this big.
And especially depending on how you sew it. If you're whip stitching it, you won't be eating a stitch, but if you're mattress stitching, you actually will lose 2, right?
Yeah, I would imagine that I'll just be whip stitching, because nobody will see it.
Oh, but it's in the inside, isn't it? Or does she offset?
It's in the back.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. One more finished object. The very last year of Sockhead.
Oh, I should have got all of mine out.
I thought
the laptop is sitting on top of where all of mine live, so I can't do that right now.
Well, I'm thinking that there will come a point later in the year where we will be together.
We will be
with all of these.
Yeah.
So this is Prussian heather.
Oh, it is such a nice. It shows black on every picture you've taken, but there is a really nice blue to it.
Yeah, it's Prussian heather, and Prussian blue is one of my favorite blues. It's the Stroll Tweed from Knit Picks, and it is like the darkest, slatiest blue. So you're seeing here fairly realistic color here, and this is the largest one size. So I cast on 160 stitches
Okay.
and knit a lot.
Yeah, that one is bigger than
It's
many of yours.
the whole arm.
Yeah. It's your whole forearm and hand.
Yeah. So that is the last one. And while we have been talking about them, we have not been explaining why we've done a year of Sockhead because
We're not going to tell you
we
yet.
can't tell people yet. But we have been able to share all of them. We have done, I think, 13 or 14, and 8 have been out of the Knit Pick Stroll Tweed.
Yeah.
I still have 2 more colors left.
I really love the colors you have left.
I've got the medium gray and the green. What we did is we ordered from Knit Picks. If you go to their kits and yarn packs page, they've got a whole bunch of suggestions for the Stroll Tweed. And I liked one that looked like it was like a really earth tones rainbow.
Yeah.
So there was like a great burgundy, and there was a great mustard yellow, and a great grass green, and those sorts of things. So I just love it. And I've got enough left that I'm thinking of doing the Litmus cowl. It's a free pattern by Amy Florence of the Stranded Dye Works podcast, or Stranded Knitting podcast, Stranded Dye Works yarn shop. And she's got a cowl where you basically just cast on a big circle, and you have one main color. And then she had a bunch of 5-gram mini skeins that she'd bought in a kit somewhere. And so it basically allows you to stripe or use leftovers or whatever. And then it's just grafted shut in the end. And so you've got this great wraparound double thick, but then it's also double thick because you knit it in a tube, but it's the equivalent of knitting a Sockhead in terms of difficulty.
Right. It's just a whole lot of knitting.
It's basically Sockhead again, but I think the gauge is a little looser, so you cast on fewer stitches.
Nice.
But so that's what I'm doing. That's the Litmus cowl. I hope I don't have to re-listen to this to get my show notes done, because
I think you're gonna have to
just ask questions. Once the show notes are there,
if there's anything she's missed, just let her know.
Especially because the algorithm loves it when people interact. Maybe I got to start doing that. That's going to be our new technique to get engagement. I'm just going to purposefully show the most gorgeous thing I can think of, and then not name the yarn or the pattern.
Yeah, there we go. So that people will ask questions.
Pro YouTube strategy. Yo.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You got to show this, because I have only seen this piled up.
And doesn't it look beautiful piled up?
It does, but it looks like I want to see it unpiled.
So I'm going to talk about this just a little bit before I show you. So if you listen to our audio podcast, you know that I've been knitting a Radvent cardigan for a while out of Broken Rainbow yarn from Allison Barnes. And individually, the colors are not the colors that I would normally be drawn to. But yes, just yesterday, I had piled up the sleeve that I'm knitting on, because I'll explain it in a minute, but I piled it up and I caught a glimpse of it out of the corner of my eye, and it actually made me stop and got really excited about wearing exactly these colors.
Right.
And it was really the first time that had actually happened, because I've been knitting it, right? So Radvent cardigan, for those who are not familiar, is designed by Ambah O'Brien to use a set of Advent minis. I am using 6 mini skeins that blend together. So you start here.
Okay, we're gonna do the
and
thing
then
again where if your hand is always
that
a little,
way.
not quite that much back, but like that. There we go.
So you just knit out, and then at one point you turn it into something that goes like this. So you're knitting into a tube to here, and then you do something, and now you're not knitting in a tube.
So this is the armpit, for those
Yep.
of you wondering where we are.
Yep. And then if we turn it around, at one point you stop knitting flat.
Because you'd be knitting up and over at
Yeah.
this point.
And then this will be the front, and this will be the back. And then you do the same thing for the other sleeve, and then you
we definitely
Kitchener it together.
Don't put the yarn in the teeth.
So what I have done, this is my left sleeve, and it's using all of the yarn. Yep. Doesn't that feel nice?
I like it.
Yeah. And then I've done it so it'll end right around my waist on me. It's a little bit longer on my shorter sister. So yeah, so then this would come across to the middle of the back, like that. And then this one, I'm not there yet, will end.
Do you want me to
with
go back to where I...
this color here. So they'll actually seamlessly merge together because that first color I've got a little bit of it here.
We'll get a little closer though.
Pink and orange. It's hard to see. We didn't plan this out beforehand. This color here is pink and orange, and this one is pink and purple. So it'll really blend together like that.
Yeah.
So yeah, I was gonna surprise you with this. With this sleeve, I have actually.
Oh, you have done.
I've done a lot. So I'm actually on the last color, and I've already done the division for the front from the back. Wow. So this is what this one looks like.
I think I like this sleeve better.
Which is why it's the right sleeve, because I like this sleeve better. When you shake it, when you meet people and like as a right-handed person, this is the arm that I'll gesture
when
with
you started.
No, but because you don't have to make any decisions with this pattern until you get to this division for the armpit.
Right.
And so I was knitting assuming this would be the right sleeve, the one that Sarah's wearing, and then was like, oh no, I like these colors better. These
the
first ones. Yeah, exactly. So I made this one my right sleeve.
Amazing. So how much more do you have to go? Like 4 inches, maybe?
Maybe.
And flat, because you're not going all the way up and over.
So all of these, they don't look it, but all of these are the same number of rows. So I have got 8-ish rows here. No, maybe got 10 or 12. So I'm about a third done of the last color.
Oh, wow. I'm really glad I tried this on, because I was wondering how it was going to feel, because it's got this batwing kind of thing going. But I can really, like, it's got that cozy, and because I don't know how it's going to be on you. I assume you did it, so it would be on you. But it's got that, like, a little too long scrunchiness plus this scrunchiness. It's like a leg warmer, but for your
That's a great way to describe it.
Body.
Yeah, for me, there's a little less, but it does still have that kind of same sense to it. But for me, as somebody who's always been tall with long arms and big boobs and big shoulders, shirts usually end here, which is really uncomfortable for me. So I push them up habitually. But I've discovered, because I've already knit one of these that's just in a different color, with this beautiful long 1x1 rib cuff, I actually hate shoving it up. So I will habitually shove it up when I'm wearing the other one and immediately pull it back down, which is so rare for me. So really excited about that. And I should also say that the next thing I'm going to do, so yeah, see here it ends a little bit more like there-ish on me.
Yeah.
Then I'll be doing a little bit of a hem in this color again.
In the gray.
And then, in the gray, and then picking up and doing a neckline.
So is it like a 2.5, 3 inch ribbing?
I think it's written a little bit longer than I do, because I specifically ended it so it would be at my natural waist.
Right.
And that was just an easy adaptation to make.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I'm really, really close to this one.
That's amazing.
I'm so excited. And by the time I'm done, I will possibly be ready to wear it, because it's quite warm right now.
Today, but it does cool off a lot at night.
Yes, it's true.
Bye, Barb. Hi, and bye from Barb.
Yeah.
She's got to head out. Nicole,
yes.
I agree. I am also seriously thinking of doing this pattern.
This is my second Radvent, and I think I might have. Oh, Knit City, very jealous, Barb. Have fun. Say hi to Anna from LongWay Homestead, and Catherine from
Small Bird Knits.
Small Bird Knits,
and the two hilarious girls, Jolynn and Carrie from Little Red Mitten.
Oh yeah.
There you go. You have homework.
This is my second one, and I'm already planning on making a third.
What color?
Oh no, I haven't gotten that far yet.
I thought maybe you were like, this is so useful in my wardrobe. Now I want a black one, or like
maybe
something a little more business casual. I mean, anything would be more business casual than this, but you do have purple as your other one.
No,
right?
the other one is like an inky blue. It's called.
It's
a TARDIS blue with
It shows purple in every picture that I've seen.
But yeah, so
kind of indigo, and then we can.
There we go. Indigo.
We're both right.
Yep. Sarah's going to talk for a bit, and then I'm going to show my leftovers, because we've been talking on the audio podcast about how much yarn chicken I am playing, and I've got it all laid out here. But we'll let Sarah talk for a bit while I have some tea.
So on the last one, I was extremely excited to be showing off this impulse cast on that I did, where I was using leftovers. So I'm going to back up. So the plan is to knit a top-down circular yoke. So I'm going to stripe. So I don't have the the corner that a raglan seam gives you. I don't want that in this one, so I wanted a circular yoke. And I ended up going with this strange Brew sweater from Tin Can Knits. It's extraordinary. It has sizes from newborn through the like 5XL men's. I think there are 14 sizes, and they've written it in 3 yarn weights and from the bottom up and the top down. And they've given you 2 different ways to do the yoke shaping, with 2 different ways to do the color work, with sample color work plus also grid sheets so that you can fill in your own color work.
Yeah.
Like, this is not a pattern. This is a book. It's amazing. It's so generous. And what I'm doing is I'm ignoring most of what they've given me. And I'm using the DK numbers because I'm holding my fingering weight double, that I'm doing leftovers. And I divided up my leftover stash, and I got like kind of all these dark, mostly grays. And then I found like a family of colors, mostly blue, greens, and purples. And I'm going to grab one from each and just do stripes. And so I was rolling along, super confident. I was like, look, Katie, I'm like at the sleeve cut off. And next day, I think even I went to I was knitting off, and I was like, put this on scrap yarn and that sleeve. And I'm not even across so I've knit across the front. I've put the the shoulder sleeves on, and I'm like this far into the back. And you're already ready. And I'm already I'm already like
at the point to do
the
next sleeve.
I'm done the round. No, I'm done the round.
Oh no.
Like, not just a little bit wrong, not a lot bit wrong, but like fundamentally, catastrophically too few stitches. I was minimum 100 stitches off.
Oh no.
And what I had done is so mind-boggling. What I had done is, and I'm a designer, so I write patterns. So this is an insane mental leap. It would say, for an increase, knit 3 brackets, 3, 3, 4, 4, 5. And I had highlighted
your size,
the 3 and the 5. Both. So clearly you knit 8 and then increase. So every single time I came to an increase, I was adding 2 numbers, and therefore spacing out my increases. And not once did I stop and check numbers after it, because this was my spontaneous cast on, hey, if I have to fudge a stitch or here sweater, who cares? But you can't fudge 100 stitches. So
you had to rip it out.
This is where I am. I hope you enjoy it.
Oh, I love these colors though.
So one thing you may know, okay, so what I'm going to show the front. The front looks like this. So 8 round stripes, but can you see how it's getting bigger? It's because the one thing this allowed me to do was to put in short row shaping. I got to the place where the pattern recommends put in short row shaping, which is, so you would do your color work yoke, and then there's a place right here before you separate the sleeves where you just knit a few extra short rows, and that pushes up the back half and gives you a neckline where you're not going straight across.
Yeah.
And I did not want in the middle of my back to suddenly have stripes that were like chunky.
Yeah.
And so I was like, well, I'll just do without it.
Yeah.
But
because you had to rip it back.
Yeah. So what I'm doing is I'm playing with the spacing of the short rows a little bit. They're not happening as close because I'm trying to make sure that like any one stripe is not.
Oh, so you're doing it over a few different stripes.
Yeah.
That's so smart, because over this amount of space, it's going to be okay.
Yeah, and it's also not like it won't have
like got all this hair too.
Yeah, so my hair's going to cover it for the most part, and it won't have like 8 row, 8 row, 8 row, 8 row. What's this weird bit? 8 row, 8 row, 8 row. It won't have the comparison either side because it'll be right from the top, right? Yeah. And so I think people's brains won't be trying to problem solve.
Yes.
The short row shaping if I do it there. So the reason I have not worked on this much is every time I go to pick it up, I think, oh, I think I'm ready for the next short rows. And because I've been doing the mystery gnome.
Oh yeah. You just haven't had the brain for that.
I have not. So I've just been like sock after sock right now. And I have so few works in progress compared, like this summer, I have 10 things on the needles when you counted designs. And right now I have 2.
Is this where you've woven in the ends or knit in the ends?
Yeah.
Okay.
But because they're double, it's thick. It looks bulky. So right there, you can see where I've knit in the ends. But once you block that, like if you feel it,
it'll block out.
It's not thick at all. And I do have a video on the website or on the YouTube channel here. If you just search knitting in the ends inside my channel, it'll come in. So yeah, that's the one thing I wanted to update everybody on.
I can show some of my leftovers. So I'm currently on what I've labeled color 1. So still in progress, but I've got this much left. I divided each of the 50-gram skeins into 2 so that I could alternate skeins. All right, so let's go to the other end. So color 6. This is the one that was
this
cuff
is
on one side.
This is the purple.
Yeah.
Of the rainbow?
Yeah. So it's the cuff on the right sleeve and the back on the left sleeve. And it just does it like a couple of rows on the front. So there's lots of this one left.
Lots for mini skeins.
50-gram mini skeins, yeah. Here's the second color. This is how much I have of this one left. And then let's do the third color. I have this much left. That's it. For both of these, I had to actually add the end of one of the 2, like because I split the skeins, I had to add the one to the other to get enough to finish the row that I was on.
But you still managed all the rows.
But I still managed all the rows. There's one on the left sleeve where I fiddled with it a bit, but I made a note of that in my blog post. Number 4, we're doing better. Still have 2 skeins, so we're doing okay. And then number 5, we're getting a fair bit better. A little bit of a round.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, so these ones, there's like maybe 2 grams, maybe 1.5 grams. I can't remember what these ones are off the top of my head, but it is in my blog post, which is live. Yeah, and then this much. Like just absolutely bonkers.
Yeah. So you knew how many rounds the whole sweater was?
Yes.
Cuff to
yes.
And so because of the way the pattern is?
Oh, I was hoping that you keep holding that in the number that it was in.
It's okay. I know that one was the first one. This is the second. This is the third.
So number 2.
Good. So the pattern is written in a way where you know how many rounds total?
Yeah, yeah, and I didn't even have to do math. It just, I think maybe I had to add a few numbers together. But the way the pattern is written, it tells you how many rounds there are from the time you stop doing the cuff to the time you're done the sleeve, all the way to the center back. So it was really easy to, yes, Judy, it was some serious yarn chicken. Like, I was starting to get pretty worried there. But yeah, definitely not enough of the whole set to do anything with it.
Oh,
with the leftovers.
You can stuff a nose with this if you make a gnome.
Okay. Yes. Not to knit a thing with them.
If you make a niblet gnome, this would be enough to make several niblets.
Oh, there we go. Okay.
I'm taking this. I'm going to make you a niblet.
No. Put it back. Put it down. I have not made up my mind completely that there's nothing I can do with these.
Okay. Because I would nibble it for you.
Okay. I will keep that in mind.
And you can have the earrings.
Too much. That might be a little extra. I couldn't wear it with the sweater.
Just to a yarn show.
That's true. I could do it there.
Yeah.
Woo. My glasses are fogging up. I usually have a fan running in here, but I turned it off for the recording. And there's poor airflow in my current apartment, but there will be wonderful airflow in my new condo. Okay, what else are you working on?
I am knitting the most boring sock. I don't think it could be technically more boring than that gray one, but it feels more boring, maybe because I'm knitting it after the gray one.
You also don't like brown.
I'm not a big fan, but
I would nibble it for you needs to be a t-shirt. Well, Sarah, if you listen to the audio podcast, there is a merch store coming.
And that is actually a really hilarious
That's a really good idea, Katie.
Title. I feel like that might be a thing. Maybe a sticker.
Ooh, with a picture of a niblet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. We will remember this. So this yarn is from at Haynes House. This is their Remarkably Fine Gentleman colorway, which is a Jane Austen reference, and I can't remember which of their Remarkably Fine Gentlemen or Remarkably Fine Young Man it would refer to, because there's pretty much one per book.
Yes.
Even if he's not the hero, like Bingley was remarkably fine, but I don't think anyone would call Darcy that. So I have also got a...
Oh no, Bingley would be the person in that one, not at all Darcy.
I've got a mini skein from, I got a roast coffee. It's basically a coffee inspired set of mini skeins. I think they are 50 grams each. Haven't weighed them, but they're all browns. And so I did 2 rounds at the start of this one. And for the longest time, I was convinced no one would ever notice. And I think pretty much no one will ever notice.
Yeah.
But it is at least visible when I point it out now.
Yes.
That is different. So, and then I've done.
And will you also do the toe?
Yeah.
Okay.
I am currently still on DPNs because I packed everything and then threw almost everything in the back of the car. And in the container with this, I had the 9-inch circular needles, but I did not have the stitch markers to mark where I do gusset decreases. So I have it.
Okay.
It was just in the trunk.
Oh,
right.
Okay.
So yeah, I can change back, but I only have maybe 2 more decreases to go anyways before I'm back to the stitch count. And so Reiner will get the world's most colorful socks, followed by these and the gray ones. So yeah, it's a whole range. Usually Reiner would choose, like, given a choice, this is Reiner. So to have here we go.
What else do I have around here that could be Reiner?
Yeah, so
my yarn is not where I expect it to be.
I think this might actually be too bright for Reiner. I don't know how much he's going to wear these. This is an experiment. And then
I wonder if Tias would steal them from him.
Yeah, probably. They share shoes, but the knitted socks I knit slightly differently for them, and it's weird. It doesn't make any sense based on their shoe sizes and stuff, but that's what they say works for their socks. So
okay.
Speaking of niblets.
Getting the wires for the niblets. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or making a pin. It's true.
Yeah. So not exciting. This is really the only thing I'm working on currently because I think I need to short row. So better knit a sock.
Well, and what I'm happy with is this was an impulse purchase to start this, but I also had enough forethought to know that I would be moving and that I would need something simple.
Yes.
And now that I'm at this point, it's even more simple, which is great because it's not even going all the way around to here. It's just this. And then doing the hems at a 1x1 rib will be really nice and easy too. So this is going to be scratching the itch that I need it to.
Yeah. So
for a while
what's
yet.
Next?
I don't know yet.
Because that's not long. I mean, you do have the ribbing.
I do have the ribbing.
Like, I think you need to start thinking, have a backup.
I do, because I get to the end of a project and then I just feel lost.
Yeah.
I do have.
I will stand and be entertaining while you run. Entertainment.
I have this, which impulse buy from
oh my goodness.
Aunt.
Old Maiden Aunt.
Old Maiden Aunt. Yes, thank you. So the red has glitter and the gray doesn't. And I bought these. Oh, clearly I was swatching for something. Why would I put that ribbing on there if I wasn't swatching for something?
I don't know.
I don't remember anymore what I was swatching for with this.
It's sparkle.
Or what size needles I used, because I didn't even. Nope. I was mindless when I was working on this. I didn't normally put yarn overs in to tell me what size of US needles I was working on.
Okay, so the one option is to go back, do a search on the Imagine Landscapes website for the name of this yarn. And if we talked about it in a podcast.
Yeah, it's true. Isn't it beautiful?
It's gorgeous.
And so
what are you gonna do?
I was thinking of, no, I have 3 of each. So I was thinking of maybe doing, oh, that's right. I was testing stripe width for Cardigan.
From
Kim
McBrien Evans?
I don't know, because was I thinking Rayun? If I did this as a sample, because there is that ribbing section.
That's way too much yarn, 6 skeins.
Yeah, I think it was something else. I think I was thinking like a nice hip length. But yeah, so my thing with stripes is I tend to think that they are very sporty if I don't do them properly, and it's just a game in my head. But I think I was trying to figure out
the colors, right?
Yes,
like colors make a huge difference in this because it's also very French.
Well, and clearly I like stripes, right? And so I was trying to figure out which one I might do, and I think, honestly, I like them both.
I was going to say, I kind of like that you combine them. I don't know that you need to do a lot of combining, but...
Oh, maybe do some, like, this might be why you're thinking of Kim McBrien Evans, because she's got one where she does thinner stripes at where your natural waist is, and then broader stripes elsewhere.
Like, I don't even know if you need more than one. of the big.
Yeah. Yeah. So this is a thing that I should be thinking about as well. And I do, like I said, I've got 3 skeins of each. So it's a question of
and remember
what I do with it.
Custom fit website still exists. And
yes, it's true.
If you get the gauge you like, you can build the sweater you want.
That is very true.
Rather than trying to match somebody else's gauge.
Just
which
like,
is what I like. Yeah.
I'm so glad I'm over the point in my life where I think that sparkle is not for me.
I still haven't done anything with it, but
I used to think that sparkle was great for other people, but it wasn't for me. And like with it, I have probably at least 6 different glittered nail polish top coats now. Clearly, I'm not wearing it today. And I've been doing glittery yarn, and it makes me so happy.
Yeah. It's a ketchup.
No, don't say ketchup. I don't like ketchup. It's a rusty red. I think it's a bit of a rusty red.
Yes. It's got orange in it, is the reason that I was.
Yes. I believe it's called Cherry Lips. This is called Cherry Lips in, so it is Old Maiden Aunt. I don't have the name of the.
It's just like.
It's just a superwash nylon and stellina 4-ply. Old Maiden Aunt does some really, does a lot of open water swimming and posts lots of stories of just water. And I literally feel myself relax.
It's funny. She's British, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they call it wild swimming.
Yes. She's great.
So what is the alternative? Tamed swimming? Captive swimming? Like, you know what I mean?
Oh,
what do they call other
What's
swimming?
The contrast?
Because, we call it open water and
pool.
I don't know. We call kids in grade 12 grade 12ers. We don't call them seniors.
Yeah, that one always. I get seniors, but the other ones I just lose it.
So the fact that a junior is not the smallest, youngest people.
That's what breaks me.
That's weird. Junior's junior.
Yeah. That's like how it took me.
Sophomores, medium-ish? I don't know.
It took me like possibly a couple of decades to finally be able to remember that noon is 12 p.m. Because it makes 0 sense to me that you go from 11 a.m. to 12 p.m.
Yeah.
And that 12 a.m. comes after 11 p.m. Like, anyway, tea.
All right. Well, thanks for joining us.
You're through all your stuff?
Through everything. And it's 47 minutes. So we've done well. Thank you for joining us. We appreciate that you did. And you probably tried last time and we set it to private and we regret that. We're sorry. But it was great to have you. Show notes coming in roughly soon-ish. It's a weekend. I'm Sarah, also known as Imagine Landscapes.
And I'm Katie, also known as Aurora 114.
Thanks.
Thank you.